Odds are good you've seen this clip or ones like it from a series of brave women who just want their basic human rights and dignities upheld, which can be done, of course, very easily by allowing them to join the Women's National Basketball League. As they have every natural right to do, of course. They identify as transgender women, and as we all know, transgender women are indeed women. And yet, despite that seemingly obvious statement, the Women's National Basketball Association has determined that they need to hold meetings now to define what a woman is. Oh, how tremendously bigoted of you! How could this be allowed to stand? Hatred of this magnitude in 2026 America? I really thought we'd come further than this. I really did. As you can quite clearly tell here that Royce White is a practicing transgender woman. All joking aside though, here's the thing. So this is obviously, and I'm sure the left wing is already howling this fact out loudly, a bid for him to reinforce his position as he runs for US Senator. It is political circus, but here's the thing. One, always politicize your enemy's idiocies, because fuck them, and two, if you are able to make effective political theatre of the fact that you, a man, can join an all-women's sports league, then by God, go do it, because it indicates quite clearly that the system you're trying to enter is fucking broken and in dire need of fixing. And I do love the stoic response of some parts of the WNBA as well. So we've got here, WNBA star Gabby Williams supports trans women playing in their league. I would welcome a trans athlete on my team, I bet you would, or against my team. That is indeed a brave stance from a woman who is unlikely to ever need to actually worry about that position due to the fact that the powers that be are on your side. Because, well, here's the problem. This professional WNBA star right here is 5'11". I am taller than this professional basketball player. Which should indicate some dire straits as well, and somehow I doubt that she's going to have an easy time playing against a man who's damn near 7 feet and weighs something along the lines of 260 pounds. And you know what? If the WNBA really wants to have that one big final push towards becoming truly economically solvent, independent, perhaps even a popular sport, then frankly, I think this is the right move to do. Let's have ginormous men absolutely brutalize their competition on the pitch in fully legal ways, of course. I think that would draw quite a crowd. Well, initially at least. Then I imagine that a lot of people would be going like, oh god, I didn't know I'd have such a visceral reaction to watching literal men beat the shit out of women. That's... wow, it's almost uncomfortable. It's weird how that tends to work out. And of course, you might even say, well, this is a ridiculous idea. Of course, this isn't a woman, because our definitions are rather cherry-picked, but anyone else can obviously be a woman, because here's the thing. Progressivism functions perfectly well so long as it's within its own bubble, so long as everybody is willing to speak the words and obey the judicious declarations that come down from above. Everything is fine. Women can be men, men can be women, and there is no difference between the two, even as the women's team play with a smaller ball due to what was it? Problems of fatigue, I seem to recall seeing in an article here, where a heavier ball would just tire those darn little players out. It is unfortunate. But the moment somebody from the outside steps in and goes, I'm going to force reality into your bubble, it becomes very problematic very quickly. But it doesn't mean that sane senses will then triumph, as you might think, well, obviously the WNBA is just gonna go like, okay, right, fuck, it's retarded, women obviously can't be men and vice versa, and we can't allow literal men to just be like, identify as a woman on the weekend and come in and trash our fucking teams. Beyond entertainment value anyways. We can't allow that to happen, and therefore we are putting down an official definition of what a woman is. That's probably not going to be what's going to happen. If anything, there's probably going to be individual injunctions against the people who are promising that they wish to maintain their civic rights to join the WNBA, and or simply just tell all of the clubs not to hire them, unless one of them is like, I do like winning, and decide to do so anyways, because this is gender as a spectrum, right? It's not a binary like we view it, like normal people view it. It's a spectrum, in the exact same way that, say, rape, for example, is a spectrum. You've got varying degrees of this. You have more or less female men and more or less male women. In the case of the people now trying to get into the WNBA as honest transgenders, they're clearly going to be determined to be men, and therefore can't be allowed in. They'll undermine the entire system. Can't we have some gentlemen's agreements on this? No, we can't. Turns out you burned that bridge quite some time ago. Nor will it be easy to actually create a definition of woman either. Let's say for a second here that they would like to actually engage with this honestly. Nonsense, I know, but imagine for a second that the world is spinning the other way around. If they were to do so, how do you define woman? Now, that seems like an obvious question if it weren't for the fact that just literally last year, the British Supreme Court finished a year-long verdict to try and figure out what exactly a woman is. Where finally, they declared that gender is supposed to be based on biological sex. The year is 2025, and we've finally discovered that a woman is a woman because she has woman parts. God, what I wouldn't pay for a time machine to go back to 2014. Nobody would believe me, but damn! My predictions would be fucking amazing once they came true. And this also comes down, the UK Supreme Court rules that the legal definition of woman is based on biological sex. Judges say the concept of sex is binary, while cautioning that the landmark ruling should not be seen as a victory of one side over another. That tells you just how far in this fucking verdict sat, okay? They were sitting there discussing this for days, weeks, months, whilst they were going in circles going, listen, we can't declare that a man with a penis is a woman will be the laughing stock of the earth. We actually can't do it. It will be political and legal suicide on so many levels. Meanwhile, another person, probably female, at the other end of the table would raise their hands and go, but what about if the bigots view this as a victory? Well, shit, we'll just have to tell them kindly not to. I mean, you are free to try, don't get me wrong. And I love this part too. Transgender people still have legal protection from discrimination. Yes, you have legal protection against discrimination on the same basis as everybody else. Which is, of course, the problem here, that you don't get the special privileges and the treatment, that being the unfortunate part. Now, whether or not this will actually come to a head in the WNBA is more uncertain. See, here's the thing. In Britain, they kind of had to do this because it was getting too goddamn embarrassing to have the Prime Minister be asked live on air, could you define a woman for us, please? And have him and awe for 5 minutes trying to figure out some sort of answer to this question. which is apparently rather complex. And to be fair, it is, politically speaking, a very complex question. Here, however, you have an already ideologically captured organization, with the majority of its members probably already being quite committed to their own ideologies and beliefs, which means they will simply view this as an attack from the outside, close ranks, and put in place bars or bans against anyone trying to break into their circles, because, as I said already, progressivism works just fine so long as you can just shut that obnoxious, annoying reality out, and anyone who is attempting to force it into your pretty little bubble. Which is exactly what's being done now. Now, we might hope, perhaps, that some sort of sanity might prevail, but, has it ever before? Has at any point preceding, in the entire history of progressivism, sanity prevailed, even for a single solitary instance? No, it has not. And hey, you know what? For Royce White here, this is the perfect situation, because he gets to get up on his high horse and shit down upon them from a tremendous height, whilst holding this up as a perfect example to the entirety of his boomer constituency that his opposition is actually, literally, physically, legally incapable of differentiating a man between a woman. This is political theatre of the highest order, and it is a good damn thing to see. Again, politicize your enemy's weaknesses. They did it to us. I see no reason why this shouldn't be returned with interest, as he also says he believed he'd be unstoppable in the WNBA. I believe him. And I hope that even if they're all barred, by the way, I wonder if there could be some insane trillionaire out there, or merely a billionaire these days, who might be able to, I don't know, finance a women's basketball team? Maybe lady ballers could indeed finally become reality. That might actually get me into sports for once. It's 2026. And finally, men will be allowed to play women's sports like they've always wanted and deserved to. Until we eventually probably create a third sport, which will be exclusively, I don't know, called sissy ball, in order to try and prevent men from infiltrating that one too. But hey, what comes around, goes around. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.